This video will focus on factoring the difference of squares. Now, the difference of squares method involves pattern recognition, and the name itself gives a lot away in what we're looking for in our pattern. So that word difference and that word squares are what we're going to focus on. So let's talk a little bit more about that key word, the difference. So you're going to look for terms that are separated by a subtraction sign or a minus sign here. Okay, so that signifies a difference. So in our formula bank here, notice the subtraction sign separating the a squared and the b squared. That's what we're going to be looking for in all of our examples. The other key word in our title is that word squares. So we are going to be looking for perfect squares in our examples here. So for example, the a squared is a perfect square and the b squared is also a perfect square. Now at the bottom of your note page, there is a table that will help you fill in some perfect squares here. So let's go ahead and scroll down to the bottom section. There we go. Here's our perfect squares table. So if we want to fill in 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, and so on. This would be a good place to pause the video if you wanted to fill in the other perfect squares that you know, and then we'll check back in a minute here. All right, so how many of those did you know off the top of your head? And it's okay if you don't know all of them. Again, having the table in your notes will just help you at a quick glance when you're looking at an example and you're kind of questioning like, oh, is this a perfect square or not? Let's just reference this table. But understand that these are just the first few. You could continue going. Obviously, this table stops at 16 squared, but we certainly could go 17 squared, 18 squared, and so on. All right, so now that we know what we're looking for in terms of a perfect square, let me zoom back up to our pattern here at the beginning. And let's talk a little bit about how this pattern is going to work. So when we recognize that we first of all have the subtraction in the middle separating our two terms, and we have both terms are perfect squares, how are we going to actually split them up, right? So this is where we're going to look at our answer or our two factors. So the first thing I'm going to draw your attention to is notice that one of the symbols is going to be a plus or a positive sign, and one of the symbols is going to be a negative sign. You will have one of each. Now what we do is we take the first perfect square, we're going to take the square root of that. So in our generic pattern, it's an a squared. So notice they went ahead and used a in the first spot in front of the plus and the minus sign. And then after the subtraction sign, the second perfect square was b squared, so the square root of that is b. And notice they're going to use a b after the plus and minus sign. So step one, we're going to ask ourselves, do we have a difference of squares? Does it fit this pattern? And then step two, we're going to actually apply the pattern where we are going to split into two binomials, 1 plus, 1 minus, and then using those square roots. All right, ready to take a look at our first example? Here we go. Now the first thing I'm looking at example 1, which is x squared minus 16. First thing I'm looking for, does it have that difference, right? So double check in the middle, is that subtraction sign? Yes, it is. And then I'm going to look at both terms here. First of all, the x squared, is that a perfect square? Yes. And is the 16 a perfect square? Remember, check your chart at the bottom of our notes, and yes, it is. Now when we set up our factors, remember, you're going to set up two binomials, and we're going to make 1 plus, or positive, and 1 minus. Use a subtraction sign. So you're going to have one of each. So your binomials will be almost identical. The main difference is the different signs separating the two terms. And now let's look at that first perfect square. Remember x squared? Well, we want to take the square root of that, and the square root of x squared is x. So I'm going to fill that in the front for each spot. right in front of the plus and the minus sign. And then I'm going to look at the second, or the final perfect square, which is 16. And the square root of 16 is 4, so I'm going to go ahead and fill that in to the second spot. So after the plus and after the minus. And there you have it. Your completely factored answer is an x plus 4 and an x minus 4. Now let's take a look at that second example, and let's look for those same look-fors. Remember, two terms separated by a subtraction sign, and both terms are perfect squares. So taking a look at this sign right here, it is not a subtraction sign. So what does that mean? That actually means that we cannot use our difference of squares, and that we cannot factor this y squared plus 81. Now when we have something that cannot be factored, we can also call it prime. Means we can't split that up any further. All right, so far we've seen example 1 using the difference of squares pattern, and example 2 did not fit our difference of squares problem. So let's go ahead and zoom into our third example here and take a look at another one. So we'll go through those look-fors, and I do see that subtraction sign right here, strong start, and I'm looking at the 9m squared, which is a perfect square because I can take the square root of 9 and I can take the square root of m squared. And then the 100 is also a perfect square. I can take the square root of 100 to get 10. So let's set up that pattern. I'm going to set up two binomials here, and I'm going to make sure that I use a plus in the first one, a minus in the second one, and I'm going to grab that first perfect square, 9m squared, and I'm going to use that square root of 3m. I'll go ahead and fill that in to both spots. And since it was the first perfect square, we're going to fill it into the first spot in each binomial. And then our last perfect square, the 100, remember you're going to use the square root of 10. We're going to fill that into the second, or the final spot for each binomial here. So it looks like our final factorized answer is 3m plus 10 and 3m minus 10. Now, if you made it this far, you're probably feeling pretty good about your difference of squares pattern. And then you look at example 4 and you feel like, whoa, wait a minute, this doesn't look like our difference of squares pattern. So I am going to bring your attention, there was one other thing on the notes page. I'm going to kind of scroll over to the top right corner here. There was a reminder about factoring out a greatest common factor first. Okay, and we haven't had this scenario yet where we've just been focusing on our difference of squares pattern, but if there is a greatest common factor, we want to pull or divide that out first, and then we'll go ahead and look for our difference of squares pattern here. So let me go back to our fourth example here, bring that up on the page. And I'm going to challenge you, before you look for the difference of squares, is there a GCF? Do we have something in common here? So in this case, I notice that each term can be divided by a 10, and not just a 10, but actually a 10x. So I'm going to go ahead and factor out that greatest common factor of 10x. And then when I divide 10x out of 40x to the third, I'm going to get 4x squared. Let me bring down the subtraction sign to separate. Now when I divide 10x out of 10x, I'm going to get just a 1 left over. So now that I've divided the 10x out, I'm going to start to look at what's left over inside the parentheses. This 4x squared minus 1 is starting to look like a difference of squares to me. So the first thing I'm noticing, that difference, that minus in the middle, and then the 4x squared is in fact a perfect square, and actually 1 is also a perfect square. Remember, that was the first number we filled in our chart. Remember, 1 squared is 1. So this is now a difference of squares. So we can factor further. Okay, so I'm going to keep in my answer, I'm going to keep that 10x from the beginning, but now I'm going to split up into my pattern where I'm going to make 1 plus, 1 minus, and I'm going to use that square root of 4x squared, which is 2x. I'm going to put that in the front spot. And then I'm going to use that square root of 1, which is 1. I'll put that in the second spot. So our final answer here actually includes 3 different factors. The first factor is the 10x out in front. The second factor is my 2x plus 1. And my final factor is 2x minus 1. All right, looks like our final example here is also a difference of squares. Right, check it out. You've got the subtraction, that difference in the middle here. We've got all perfect squares in the first term. Remember, 25 is a perfect square, x squared and y squared are perfect squares, and 49 is also a perfect square here. All right, so let's hop to it. I'm going to go ahead and set up my parentheses, use a plus and a minus. And let's talk about that 25x squared, y squared, and really break it down. Take the square root of 25, which is a 5. Take the square root of x squared, which is x, and the square root of y squared, which is y. So you are going to have a 5xy in the beginning part of each binomial. And then if we hop to that 49, the square root of 49 is 7, so I'm going to finish up each binomial with a 7. So you have 5xy plus 7, and you have 5xy minus 7. Voila, there is your difference of squares. So always remember your pattern. You're going to look for that subtraction in the middle, and you're going to make sure both terms are perfect squares. And then when you go to factor, keep one binomial plus, one binomial minus, and then use those square roots in each part there. Thanks so much for watching.